Good afternoon. I've been having a bit of a parenting dilemma today, which is what I want to talk about. I've got other ideas in my head I want to talk about over the next couple of days, but I just wanted to run some new bulb time, I think. Let me run my thoughts past you, because any of you that know me really, really well will know the idea of me trying to bring up a couple of kids into adulthood is kind of laughable. So I might need a bit of help on this. So it's appeared to Bex and I over the last few days that Zak and Indy have been kind of a little bit selfish. They've been kind of not helping clear up after themselves, not letting us know what's going on with them being in the house for dinner and stuff like that. Stuff where, you know, we've cooked them dinner, they haven't turned up, and there've been kind of all sorts of problems. It's just been a kind of domino effect of things like that, really. So the sort of natural direction of travel for the conversation should be for me really to tell them to stop being so selfish. But here's the dilemma, here's the paradox, is that I fundamentally believe that every single human is inherently and fundamentally selfish. Now, some of you are going to kind of rally against that a little bit, and kind of that's going to be a bit of a cold, hard truth thing. But hear me out on this. It's something called psychological egoism. Think of the most selfish person you can think of right now. Now, it might be a famous figure, somebody like Trump or Stalin or Bonaparte or somebody like that, or it may be somebody that you work with or in your family, somebody who basically just takes what they want. They have no regard for anybody else. They just take and take and take. So they're fundamentally selfish. Think about them and how miserable the people around them generally tend to be. Now think of the most selfless person you can think of. Incredibly generous, incredibly giving, incredibly thoughtful, etc., etc. And think about how lovely the life is around them, how people tend to gravitate towards them, and how happy the people around them tend to be. The point is, both of them are fundamentally selfish, but the person that tends to appear to be a bit more altruistic or selfless understands fundamentally the way to their own happiness is to make everybody else around them happy. What we call cooperative selfishness. I like the people around me to be happy and healthy, particularly Bex and Zak and Indy. I live with them, so I want to try and do everything I can to make sure they're looked after, to make sure they're well fed, they feel safe, secure. I check in with them, make sure they're happy. If they aren't, we try and talk through the problems, etc., etc. It might present as being selfless and altruistic, but really the reason I do it is because it makes me happy. It makes my life essentially better. There's this kind of paradox about altruism, even down to the person that throws themselves onto the grenade, the ultimate in selflessness, person that gives up their life for others, being the ultimate act of altruism. But the argument goes that at the end of the day, the last thing that goes through their mind, perhaps apart from some shrapnel, is that they've done the right thing. They've saved people's lives, and that in itself essentially makes it an act of selfishness, knowing that they've done the right thing. To slightly incorrectly paraphrase Marcus Aurelius himself, he said that what is good for the hive is good for the bee. What we do for the others around us essentially is inherently good for us in a selfish way. This is the paradox, this is the dilemma with Zak and Indy at the minute, is that what they're exhibiting at the moment is raw selfishness. They're taking and taking and taking, but they're not putting anything back in. What they need to understand is that the path really to true happiness is to make everybody else around you happy. The greater good, cooperative selfishness. Here's a quote to end today's video with: "Your selfish pursuit of happiness is entirely dependent on your apparent selflessness in making everybody else around you happy." Do you know who said that? I did. See you tomorrow.